Seth freaking Rollins told Paul Heyman that he owes him a favour, but I think Triple H owes us a favour, the fans, for sitting through this rubbish and watching it every single week. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. It's your WWE Late Night Raw review. It is past 4 AM in the morning, and I'm here reviewing Raw. That is commitment, man. You cannot say much more than that. A normal person would have watched the first 3 minutes. They would have seen Io Sky's butt cheeks, and that would have been enough. They would have switched off Raw, happy enough, and went to bed. But I'm a sucker for punishment, and I live in the UK, so this show doesn't finish to nearly 4 o'clock every night, well, every Monday night, whatever. I know that the Netflix times, the run times have been shortened a little bit, but they're not short enough, man. They're still way too long. 2 hours and 40 minutes this show lasted tonight. And yeah, what's this favour that Seth Rollins wants? I think I know what it is, and I think I already knew what it was before he even asked for a favour. Seeing that promo tonight, and even before he said to Heyman about, you owe me a favour now, I have a feeling that Paul Heyman will turn, and I think he will join forces with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Now, that's probably a video for a different day, and I'm not going to talk too much about it right now, but I think it makes perfect sense. We've seen Heyman and Roman Reigns. That's been done now for like 5 years. I don't want to see that. CM Punk and Heyman, we had it like, in 2012, 13. CM Punk, Heyman, it was fun, but I don't think we need to see it again. Plus, Punk's actually a good talker. He doesn't need Heyman. I think the guy that needs maybe a fresh start, I think a guy that would benefit the most from having Paul Heyman would be Seth Rollins. It's not been done before. We've not seen that duo team up together. And Rollins did make some good points about how Roman Reigns and CM Punk, they don't really care for Paul Heyman. They don't really come out and help him. When he needs them the most, they aren't there. They only seem to be there when Paul Heyman can do something for them, especially Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns doesn't give a shit about Paul Heyman. So, Seth Rollins was speaking facts tonight, and I thought it was one of his better promos, but we'll start at the beginning. So, let's go. They show you highlights from last week's Women's Championship match. We then get Io Sky. Io Sky comes down to the ring, has her entrance. This was almost like she stole Alexa Bliss's booty shorts. I don't know whose shorts she stole, but I liked it. Hopefully she can steal these every single week. And I don't know if it's a slight dig at Mickie James. Mickie James was talking about women showing ass. Well, I say women, she was talking about people in LFG, because she's not got the nuts, she's not got the cojones to speak about anybody in the main roster. But Io Sky came out with the cheeks, and that was pretty good. And at this moment, this peaked Raw. This was the best Raw was going to get. Triple H says he can determine how long Raw is going to last. I would have just turned Raw off after 4 minutes. If the ending credits came up, I'd have been like, alright, decent show, whatever. Io comes out, then Rhea comes out, Bianca comes out. I just look at these three women, and I don't understand why anybody wants Rhea or Bianca to win. Like, what happened to women being like feminine and petite and like slim? I look at Io, and that's what she is. I look at Rhea and Bianca, and they're just like a lot bigger in stature, bigger physically, a lot more muscular. They're just physically less appealing, and for me the best women's era will always be the Divas era, and I want to see women on my TV screen that look more like Trish and look more like Stacy Keibler and Tori and Lita, and out of these three, Io's the closest to them, so that's what I want to see. And then we got pretty much Bianca Belair just saying that Rhea doesn't deserve this, which is correct. She doesn't. She lost the title, and then she had a chance to get it back. She didn't get it. Fans are booing Bianca. I've heard apparently it's racism. That's what it was in Europe, but now they're doing it in America as well, so that whole thing doesn't make any fucking sense. Maybe people just don't like Bianca Belair. Maybe they're sick of her being shoved down her throat, and albeit she kind of did sit in the back seat while teaming up with Jade Cargill, but for the most part, Bianca in her entire career has been shoved down our throats. But it looks like Rhea is everyone's fan favourite. Don't know fucking why. This, masculine Marilyn Manson type woman, just, if she is a woman, I don't know, it doesn't do nothing for me. This is my brutality. It's brutal. It's brutal watching her, but Bianca's not happy. Then she's like, you know what? I don't fear you. I don't scare you or whatever. She signs the contract. Adam Pearce says it's my fault. I thought you three could act professionally. So a wee bit of a dig there for Adam Pearce, and at the end, the women have to sign the contract. So Bianca's like, right, I want you in the match. So she signs it. She's going to beat her ass. Then Rhea signs it. Like, why wouldn't she sign it? It's an opportunity for her to get a title match at Mania. Of course she's going to sign it. And then Io's turn. It's her turn to sign it, and she gets pie-faced again. Exact same fucking thing. Pie-faced by Rhea Ripley. And then Io looks like she's going to leave, and Adam Pearce is like, nah, don't leave, sign the contract. So then she, on the outside, does the springboard drop kick into Rhea. Rhea then falls into Bianca Belair. A bit of velocity behind this kick, and then she signs the contract and walks off with her belt. So there you go. Io Sky walks out, standing tall. Again, they did the whole pie face thing, just the same old shite we've seen week after week after week. I'm not going to complain. Io Sky wore a nice outfit tonight. She looked hot. I hope she wins at Mania. But if she doesn't, like, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to fucking, kill myself, whatever. She doesn't win, she doesn't win. But I cannot stand Rhea Ripley or Bianca Belair. Probably my two, those two in Charlotte. For me, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Charlotte Flair. The most unwatchable women. And Nia Jax. Throw Nia Jax in there as well. The most unwatchable women in WWE. That four right there, Jesus. If they had a fatal four-way, man, I'd be hoping for some sort of, I don't know, count-out draw, time limit draw. Maybe it could be a buried alive match and all four of them would just go 6 feet under. That would be the best outcome for me if those four had a fatal four-way. Anyway, that's not going to happen, thank God. But same shite, pie face is what it is. Finn Balor, he is in the Judgment Day locker room. He's not too happy about Mysterio getting that a title shot. It's a fatal four-way, but he pretends that he's happy, and then he kind of sneakily runs down Dominik, saying that other people are saying he doesn't have what it takes, he doesn't deserve to be in it, blah blah blah. Dominik's like, well, I'll prove it tonight against Penta, and Finn's like, I'm sure you will. Carlito tells Dom, I've got your back. Finn, though, not happy that Dom's been added to the match. Right, opening match, Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley, WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Right, this match was alright. It was a decent match, decent opening match for the belt. The commentary, though, made no sense to me. It was shite. Valkyria's dominating. 1 minute, Michael Cole saying that Valkyria is putting on a wrestling clinic tonight. And then, like, a minute later, he said something about Valkyria has been on the receiving end of a physical beatdown tonight. And it's like, either she's dominating and she's putting on a clinic, or she has been on the receiving end of a beatdown. He changed his mind. He said those two things like within the space of a minute. I mean, surely it can't be both. You can't be putting on a clinic but at the same time taking a beatdown. That doesn't make any sense from Cole, but Cole doesn't know what he's doing. He just says words. At the end of the match, Bayley's going for the Boston Crab or whatnot. Lyra Valkyria counters, gets some sort of roll up, 1, 2, 3. Michael Cole goes, instant classic. I mean, piss off, you liar. I mean, Michael Cole just gaslighting, telling lies, trying to get us to believe this is great when we know it's not. Just like WWE with their recency bias, anytime they make lists or whatever, they always put this current shit at the top, even though this current shit should be right down the bottom. But the match was decent. But for Cole to say an instant classic's like 5 stars. An instant classic's like an epic match that you're going to remember forever. People will forget about this in 2 weeks, so it is what it is. And Kathy Kelly had a backstage interview with, Bayley looked like she was going to turn heel, but then she hugged her instead, and she looked at the IC belt, and there's like undertones that, she still wants the belt, who cares? Who gives a shit? It's a mid-card title at the end of the day. Kathy Kelly has a backstage interview with comedian Bert Kreischer. No idea who he is. He's got a new show on Netflix, therefore he probably fucking sucks. Pat McAfee has a show announced. We see Jackie Redmond backstage. Oh, by the way, Kathy Kelly looked hot tonight, man, and wearing a nice wee outfit. That's what we need in wrestling, alright? I think wrestling sucks. It's never going to be good, but we can still get hot women somewhat. Just don't show the likes of fucking Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax and all those people, 65-year-old looking Charlotte Flair. But for the most part, some of the women are actually pretty attractive if they're allowed to look and dress and be feminine and be sexy. So, I mean, hopefully we get to see more of this. We had Jackie Redmond interview AJ. Karrion Kross stuck his nose in for some shit, don't know why. AJ's like, well, next week I'll show you the real AJ when I face you. And then we had also El Grande Americano backstage. Otis just ripped his shirt off big fat belly hanging out. I don't know if that was supposed to impress anybody. Didn't impress me. Then we got the second match, El Grande Americano. I just keep thinking of coffee. Every time I hear that, I think of coffee. And the Creed brothers taking on Mysterio. No, Mysterio wasn't in it. It was the LWO. Just a bunch of fucking jobbers at the end of the day. El Grande Americano, aka Chad Gable, he put like a metal, I don't know, like a metal piece or something inside his mask. Then he headbutted Ray, and then he did a diving headbutt on Dragon Lee, picked up the win for his team. So the Creed brothers and El Americano win. We then get Pat McAfee's new show, Big Night At, is advertised. Pat McAfee, what a gimp this guy is. When he first came into wrestling, I thought he was a good commentator. Boy, was I wrong. You know, he's just over the top, cringe, just not good, not good. Gunther comes out, makes his way to the ring, grabs the microphone, doesn't say shit. Jey Uso's music hits. Jey Uso then comes down from the ramp, and you see Pat McAfee on the announce table. He's up and down, jumping up on the announce table, doing the yeet, 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 and it's like, last week we seen Jimmy Uso get beat up here. And why are the crowd like yeeting? Why is Pat McAfee yeeting? Why are we yeeting as if it's like, oh, it's a good feel moment? No, I mean, obviously Jey Uso comes out, he's not yeeting, he's pissed, he's got a serious face on, but you've got Pat McAfee yeeting up and down like a fucking loser. You know, it doesn't make any sense. Jey gets in the ring, takes ages to speak. I don't know why they think this whole dragged out, boring, you know, promos are good. Just get in there and say what you want to say. He then cuts a pretty shite promo, talks about Gunther. You have a mother, you have a mom. Do you talk to your mom, Oos? What do you talk to your mom about, Oos? Like, what the fuck? And then he says, you know what I had to talk about my mom about? My brother being in the hospital. She asked me, oh, he got 15 stitches across his forehead. Why didn't you protect him, Joshua? As a grown man. Jey said he's never lied to his mom, and he said because he was scared. Well, he wasn't scared. He was, you know, he was cut. He was like zip tied to the ropes, so he couldn't help anyway. But it's like, look, Jimmy got 15 stitches back in the day. Like about 2, 3, 4 people got 15 stitches a night. Why are we making out that 15 stitches is like he was damn near killed? You know, it's 15 stitches for God's sake. That's like a blade job, all right. I mean, it's, you know, that's probably like the average amount of stitches that people get. I don't know why they're making out that he was. Why is he almost crying over 15 stitches? I would have left that part out. I don't know. If you're going to say stitches, why don't you make it up? Why not go with like 52 or something? You know, like fucking invent this big number. 15 stitches, just, I don't know, kind of seemed like it downplayed everything. Jey then says, you violated my brother, you left him a bloody pulp, blah, blah, blah. At Mania, I hope that you speak to your mom, and because I'm going to get you and all this stuff. It was pretty shite, to be fair. Jimmy, he's going to get him for me, I'm going to get him from my mum, I'm going to get him from Jimmy, and I'm going to win the belt, and that's it. Gunther just looked on, didn't say shit. Gunther didn't say anything the entire night, didn't even get a single word out. Then Michael Cole said for the first time in this feud, Jey Uso has the advantage, he has the upper hand, and oh man, it's so bad, it's so fucking bad. Gunther didn't even say a single word. Gunther's just sitting there awkwardly while Jay's talking about mom's oos. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? We then see a video recap of what happened on SmackDown with Reigns, Punk, and Seth Rollins. Good for them. Then we find out Rhea Ripley's going to be a guest on Stephanie's Places this week on ESPN+. Horrible podcast. Would never listen to it. But if you do want a podcast to listen to, and I'm not recommending this podcast as a whole, but for one episode, Harley Cameron was on Soraya's Rule Breakers, and you know, Harley Cameron's such a fucking amazing woman. Maybe I'm a mark for Harley Cameron, but she's like very eccentric, you know, very flamboyant, very funny, very charismatic. That's a good podcast. I watched it. It's only like 40 odd minutes. Very entertaining, and yeah, that's a podcast, at least an episode of a podcast I would watch. Honestly, nobody wants to sit and listen to Rhea Ripley talk to Stephanie McMahon. There's going to be nothing interesting about that. But Harley Cameron, check it out. Rule Breakers. You will not be disappointed. You'll come back and go, wow, Harley Cameron, she needs pushed, and Tony Khan should push her. But instead, his company is getting pushed down in the ratings because it sucks, right? Third match, War Raiders versus the New Day. I predicted new tag team champions here. Didn't happen. But the New Day did win via disqualification. There was a steel chair used. So, steel chair got whacked on... Who was it? Was it Kofi? Kofi hit Eric or one of the two. I can't remember. No, wait. It was one of the fat guys hit the New Day. I can't remember. Anyway, New Day win by DQ. And then the New Day beat up the Viking Raiders or the War Raiders, and then Jamie Noble and like 15 security guys come out. So of course we had to get the security spot because we always get the security spot. Had to be done, had to be made. We then find out that Natalya and Maxine Dupree are going to be tag team partners for the gauntlet match on SmackDown. Winner of that match goes to WrestleMania. Anybody these days can go to WrestleMania, just a bunch of fucking jobbers. Rey Mysterio walks in. Rey says he wants to have a match with El Grande Americano at WrestleMania. And Adam Pearce says that match is oficial. I guess that's official in Spanish, I don't know. Didn't do Spanish lessons when I was younger. Ain't going to start now. We then get a John Cena, Cody Rhodes video package because John Cena can't be bothered to show up because he's too busy filming movies. So the only John Cena content we get is it's repeats, it's highlights. Shite. Fourth match, Penta versus Dominik Mysterio. I mean, match was alright. Dominik Mysterio got a bit of offense in, but in the end, he lost to Penta, who hit the, I don't know what it is, the Sub-Zero or something, or I don't know, the Penta driver. Who cares? After the match, they start beating up Penta. Then Braun Breaker's music hits. Carlito goes to the outside to meet Braun Breaker on the ramp. Braun Breaker hits a massive spear, damn near kills Carlito. Braun Breaker's the man for me. Braun Breaker's great, gets in the ring, hits spears with everybody. Then Balor drops Breaker with the slop drop. What a shite name for a move. Unless you're like fucking a hillbilly or something, or you're like, the Godwins when they came out with their bucket of slop and vomit, then that's a decent name, but I don't know. Why has Balor got a move called the slop drop? Just doesn't make any sense. Balor then poses with the IC belt. Breaker gets back on his feet, goes for a spear, misses it, and Balor leaves. I seen someone comment, wow, can't believe that Braun Breaker is only 27 and he looks like a grown-ass man. Newsflash, 27 is a grown-ass man. What the fuck do you expect Braun Breaker to look like? The Rock was already a WWE champion multiple times by the age of 27. Randy Orton was already WWE champion multiple times by the age of, 27. I just don't get it. I don't understand why people are saying, oh, Braun Breaker's still really young. He's the future. He's 27. I think The Rock left wrestling when he was 29. 27 is not that young. That's when in a sport, and most sports, athletes hit their prime at 27. So you can't really say, oh, he's still an young incomer, or he's a guy he's still improving and all this. Braun Breaker is coming into his prime years. If he's not already in them, he's certainly coming into them. And they need to start pushing this guy. I think he's got potential to be the next big thing. I don't mean that as he's the next Brock Lesnar, but I think he could be the next main guy in WWE. And I think you need to start pushing him now. Fuck Cody Rhodes, get Braun Breaker in. And you want to talk about Paul Heyman, who could this guy team up with? Personally, I think I'd rather see somebody else, but I don't think Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker, that wouldn't be a bad shout in my eyes. Maybe Paul Heyman would have a chance to actually mix up some of his promos and do something different. But I don't know, for me, Braun Breaker, I don't want to see a couple more WrestleManias pass by and this guy's just in the mid-card for mid-card belts. I think that heading into WrestleMania 42, WrestleMania 43, we should begin to see Breaker in the world title picture. Whether it's World Heavyweight Championship or WWE Championship, doesn't matter. But he needs to be in that category. He needs to be in that bracket. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, those guys are done. Those guys are in their 40s. You need to start pushing new blood. Braun Breaker is that new blood, and I think he is that damn good. So we'll see. Gunther's going to be a special guest on next week's Raw podcast or whatnot. Who cares? Nobody. Paul Heyman comes out, does his shit, says that I'm loyal to both Roman Reigns and Punk. Just because I'm loyal to both of them doesn't mean I'm disloyal to one of them. Seth Rollins comes out. He says that the whole reason Roman Reigns isn't champion anymore is because one well-dressed man prevented it last year. Obviously talking about himself. To be honest, out of all the gear Seth Rollins wears tonight, he actually didn't look that bad. So fair play to him. He then tells Paul Heyman, don't play dumb. You know that Roman Reigns doesn't respect you. CM Punk doesn't respect you. They don't like you. They don't care for you. You claim that they're your tribal chief. You claim that they're your best friend. They don't do shit for you, okay? He talks about Punk, saying that Punk wasn't the first choice at War Games. It was Seth Rollins. Says that Punk was the only choice and that they had to use Punk. And then Seth Rollins is basically just saying, why don't you take yourself out of the match? Why don't you just do us all a favour and let it be 1-on-1-on-1? And then he says, all it would take is one little stomp and you'd be gone. So Seth Rollins threatening Paul Heyman here. Then CM Punk comes out to make the save after Paul Heyman tells Rollins, get your hands off me, don't put your damn hands on me again. Seth Rollins grabs him, Punk makes the save, Punk and Rollins brawl for a little bit. Then Rollins retreats into the ring, Punk follows, gets hit with a stomp. Heyman goes to check on Punk. Seth Rollins then goes for a curb stomp on Heyman, but he pulls up short, just missing him. Heyman shits his pants, realises that he almost got stomped into the mat. Then Seth Rollins looks at Paul Heyman and he goes, now you owe me a favour, Paul. And that was it. So there you go. Seth Rollins says, now you owe me a favour. Let's hope they don't drag this out for 6 months. Oh, what's the favour that Paul owes Seth? Nobody cares. How about, how about they just make it, I don't know, maybe number 1 contender match, make this, I don't know, winner of this gets a title shot, night 2, maybe you could do something like that. Or just, I think it could be Paul Heyman betrays Roman Reigns and Punk and teams up with Rollins. But why make it so obvious with Seth Rollins saying that you now owe me a favour? I didn't really understand that part. Maybe that won't be it, but I've got a funny feeling. I think the fresh thing and the surprising thing to do would be to turn Paul Heyman heel and align him with Seth Rollins. But whether that happens or not, we do not know. But that's how Raw ended. Let's think of the positives. Let's think of the pluses for tonight's Raw. I thought the ending segment was not bad. I thought it was one of Seth Rollins' better promos that I've heard in a while. Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria wasn't horrible. It was alright. It was decent. Io Sky's cheeks was certainly a plus point for me. Other than that, not a lot. I mean, I liked the Braun Breaker spear. That was pretty damn good. So I mean, you know what? It wasn't the worst Raw that we've seen. I thought the Mysterio Penta match was not bad as well. It was alright. Yeah, fuck it. You know what? We'll give it a 3 out of 10, guys. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Not the worst Raw I've ever seen. And only one more left now until WrestleMania 41. But let us know your thoughts down below. We'll catch you in the next one. Been Fog Wrestling. Thanks for watching. And of course, until next time, peace.